happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
JJ Wang, I'm tired. Before we got here, I went on a 3 mile run and I decided to be clever and go in the heat after mowing in a weighted vest. That was excellent. I feel spectacular, but I smell. So luckily you're on the other side of the camera. But I'm excited for football. How you feeling? We got people in places and now we're getting to some mysteries.
Yeah, I mean, this is when it starts kind of getting excited at this point. I mean, people are starting to have their drafts. You can kind of start filling out your teams, filling out their taxi squads with these guys we're going to talk about today. So, yeah, pretty excited.
Okay, real quickly before we get in, I got three bits of news we're looking at. Our boy George Pickens is playing with your boys, the Dallas Cowboys. He's a member of America's team. He is now Jerry's problem. Immense talent, but apparently one big pain in the butt he is. I believe it was like a third round pick, right? Off the top.
I think it was maybe fourth. Yeah, maybe a third and then like a
That
seventh,
trade of the seventh.
switch seventh or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so we now have George Pickens in Dallas. Um, does that make you feel better or worse about Pickens for starters?
I think it makes me feel better. I mean, their offense in Pittsburgh was dreadful. At least Dak Prescott's been a high end fantasy quarterback when he's healthy. I mean, they've been looking for a strong number two. I think it complements what they've got going on with CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb can, catch a lot of the underneath stuff and the short stuff like that. He garners a lot of attention, and it'll leave Pickens on the outside presumably one-on-one, and he's good at the deep ball, and that's what the Cowboys need.
Pickens had that really. I forgot how good he was that one year with 1,100 yards. Does Pickens
Yeah.
go over 1,000 yards and over 5 touchdowns, which is his NFL high this year?
I think he goes over the 5 touchdowns. The thousand, I would say, yeah, I'll say he's at like 1,000 yards, and I think his touchdowns hot is going to be pretty a little bit higher than anticipated. Because I mean, he's also not only can he be that deep threat, but he can also be that fade guy. When they get down close to the end zone. So I mean, granted, I mean he's a Cowboy. I've got him on some teams, so I'm going to think about more highly of him probably. But I mean, closer to 10 touchdowns, I think it's definitely possible. But like I said, if he's got to keep his head on straight.
I was going to say 1,008 because I mean, really, who is Dak throwing to? Him, CD, maybe the tight end Ferguson. We'll see, but there's nobody else there, so
Yeah.
he has to do it. If not, Dak is the richest Jameis Winston in the history of football. So the other thing is, Derek, you don't have to get his name wrong for a while. Derek Carr is done. No longer will he be David Carr. The shoulder injury, it has him done for his career. He retired. So now we are looking at the rookie. I always say his name wrong. Tyler Shuck. How do you say his name?
Oh, Shuck. I think it's Shuck.
Tyler Shuck there. Yeah, you're right. Shuck. I always I want to get him Shuck, but Tyler Shuck. But there's been some rumblings about Spencer Rattler, and it looks like it's an open quarterback competition. I know you loathe You're not a Spencer Rattler guy. I'm praying because I have him in some teams, but Tyler Shuck, he might be, they might be the same age. Tyler Shuck's pretty old. He played in college football for a while. He is now up to the number 4 fantasy pros quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tyler Shuck was backing up Justin Herbert.
Do what?
Tyler Shuck was backing up Justin Herbert, I believe, when he was with Oregon.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
so he's been in college for a long time.
Yeah, I was reading all the schools the other day. I don't have it pulled up right here with me the other day. Just like all the schools that he went to, I was like, holy cow!
Yeah.
I want to say he played 6 years as well. And I think Gabriel as well for Cleveland might have been a 6 year guy as well. We're getting through these COVID guys, so they got 6 years, but really they just stayed home for a season. Give me a percentage, Shuck or Rattler, of being the starter for, and it can't be 100.
I think it's gonna be 75% Tyler Shuck. I mean, I think he's good. I think he's got more tangibles than Spencer Rattler. I mean, you see what Spencer Rattler could do last year. I mean, I think Tyler Shuck is more NFL ready. He's got a bigger arm. He can move a little bit. He's been playing quarterback for a long time. So honestly, I think Shuck is going to be the starter.
Are they both kind of screwed and they're just waiting for Arch Manning?
Well, I mean, possibly. I mean, if
An article popped up as I was doing research here a second ago.
I mean, you're going to hear Arch Manning's name attached to like every team in the NFL. So I mean, sure, they could be a team.
Okay, and one of my favorite story is this kid Desmond Watson. He ran a 5.93 40. So everybody's like, "Oh, that's not too bad. That's pretty terrible, actually."
That's
But
pretty bad.
the dude is the heaviest guy in NFL history. He played at 464 for Florida. He's 6'6", 464. He slimmed up to 6'6", 437. He's going to be a nose tackle, I believe, for Tampa. And I watched him do some drills. This kid is mobile. If you get a chance, look up Desmond Watson. Watch him. He's a mobile for four. You figure 400 and some odd pounds. The fridge didn't have a lot of wiggle to him. This dude's got some wiggle. I'm going to be watching some Tampa Bay defense. It has nothing to do with our show whatsoever, but it was just fun to watch him do drills and watch him do that 40-yard dash at the pro day. Dude was moving. They did a weight comparison. They said if he at the rate he did per weight and size, if he'd have been like a buck 81, he'd have ran like a 392. So it was one of those like comparisons. So it was like for body, I was like, so this dude, if he puts it all together, it'd be interesting to see what he could do there and be more than just the heaviest guy ever in the NFL. But just a fun.
Yeah, I mean, if he's that big, he's got to have some kind of talent to play in the NFL. I mean, I'm sure, obviously, he's got to be athletic as all get up, for that size. And, just plant the guy in the middle. I mean, he's going to have to take on like two or three guys, just to slow him down a little bit. So open up the run, close out the run game and free up a lot of people.
But he's a UDFA, so there's probably a reason for that as well. They swooped up.
Yeah.
So this week we're gonna be with rookies for a little bit, probably the month of May. We'll still be doing some rookie stuff, having some fun with rookies. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at, we could talk about Genty all day long. We can talk about Cam Ward. We could talk, the guys at the top we know are gonna be good. Hunter. Had I made the trade yet, or I just texted you? I got Hunter last week at a draft. It was pretty gnarly. But I was very excited about that. But this week we're going to look a little bit outside the realm, guys that might be considered sleepers, guys we might not even talk about after today. They might disappear off the face of the earth. But guys, I have them set up that I went outside the top 6 quarterbacks, outside the top 10 running backs, receivers, and outside the top 5 tight ends. They're pretty terrible. So I just threw a name there. I don't even know if we're going to talk about tight ends. So wait and see, to be continued. But we're going to list some guys outside the top 6 quarterbacks to start. And what the chances are they could be playing this year or getting a start at some point, or worth being on your dynasty roster. And then I got no words right now because I'm still sweating. But do you give us your quarterback? Who's your quarterback outside the top 6 that you think could have a chance of getting some NFL playing time or a roster worthy?
I'm going to go Kyle McCord from Syracuse. I know Syracuse isn't known to be like a super quarterback school. I mean, they did have Donovan McNabb. Of course, I mean, he goes to the Philadelphia Eagles. So, I mean, it's not like he's going to get a lot of playing time. But when you're telling me to go outside the top 6 on a weak quarterback draft, I mean, it's kind of bare. I wanted to go Will Howard. He was the quarterback or the quarterback 6 going to Pittsburgh. I think he probably has a really good chance to play. But I mean, Kyle McCord was okay in Syracuse. He makes Syracuse a good team. I mean, they were effective in the ACC. 6'3", 218. So he's got a good size. I mean, he can scramble a little bit. I mean, he's okay. I'm not going to say he's great, but when you're looking quarterbacks outside the top 6, I mean, it's really the best I got. I mean, I really don't have. I mean, I'm not too excited for Kyle McCord, but I mean, and in this draft, I mean, he's a guy that I would take and maybe possibly put him on my taxi squad. Maybe I'm not too excited.
He's like the 8th. That's how terrible this class is. He's the 8th Fantasy Pros ranked rookie quarterback, which is crazy. I'm going to go with the guy actually right after him on the list. This dude turned down $8 million to play college football, to play football for my Miami Dolphins, and that's Quinn Ewers from Texas. I am basically throwing him out here because Tua's head is made of jello, and the backup is Zach Wilson. So he has quite a path to be able to play. He was able to keep the prodigal son of football from playing college football. Manning was supposed to step into Texas, be the man. But yours, he played the last 2 years. He had almost the last, his yardage was literally 7 years off from 7 yards off from being identical. 34-79, 34-72, 31 touchdowns last season, 12 interceptions. Playing in the SEC for Texas, and so he played in a big time program. He could step in there. He could step in for McDaniels there. He'll have great weapons there, like three really good running backs. It looks like he's got a three-headed monster there. Some receivers and a good tight end who stepped out, and some young receivers that could. I mean, Nick Aquino-Esbrook is his number 3 receiver. How great would that be? He's my favorite player on the team. But it's more just opportunity. Opportunity could knock for him more than anybody in this group not named Cam Ward or Tyler Shuck, to be honest, because of the situation.
Yeah. I mean, the mighty have fallen. After last year, he was predicting, to be one of the top quarterbacks taken, and for some reason, I mean, it just didn't work out that way. I mean, he could have gone back to school, made some more money, but I mean, you go to the NFL, I mean, that's always your dream. You never know what could happen next year. In college, he's already fell this far. Next year, he could possibly fall not even being drafted. So you kind of got to take that into a sense. But, yeah, he was injured this year, didn't play great. Numbers were decent, but like I said, he just didn't look like they thought he was going to look going into the season. So, yeah, I mean, he's kind of ranked after Kyle McCord. So, I mean, that kind of gives you all you need to know right there.
And honorable mention for almost the same reason, I threw out Notre Dame quarterback Riley Leonard, who had a quasi coveted part. Like, he wasn't anything spectacular, but he seems like he'd be sort of just like he'd almost be like a Kirk Cousins kind of player if he could learn to play, could throw for the yards, but just sort of keep you going throughout the team. And he's behind Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones, so there is nobody spectacular. I saw him at a church conference a month or so ago. Seems like a good dude, and he made Notre Dame sort of put him back on the map as far as being a powerhouse this year and led that team. So no other reason than leadership qualities and terrible quarterbacking did I throw him on there as my other outside the top 6 quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't not great.
Yeah,
I'm not really a fan of anything Notre Dame. So Notre Dame quarterbacks have never really prospered, and I know that really doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, Joe Montana.
I was about to say other than Joe Montana.
And Joe Theismann, that's it. Like nothing else.
Even him, he was drafted in the 3rd round. So Notre Dame, I don't like anything about them. So I'm not going to give any credit to anything Notre Dame.
Hey, there's a new pope. Why not have a Catholic Catholic quarterback? Sure. Let's go to running backs. That's at the top running backs. This was a class 4 running backs. So there's going to be, I mean, we're looking, number 10 running back is one of your favorites, Jaden Blue. So he's the 10th rated running back in Fantasy Pros rankings currently. So now we got guys outside of there. So throw us a guy outside the top 10 that you think has an opportunity to make a splash.
All right. So I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs, Brashard Smith. Now, he was picked in the 7th round, 12th pick. But, I mean, you're also looking at the last running back. What was the other one? What was the running back name for the Chiefs?
Isaiah Pacheco.
Pacheco, yeah. So, I mean, he was a late-round guy. We see how that turned out. This guy ran a 4.39, so he's fast. Maybe 194, so he didn't quite hit, that weight. That weight projection is 5'10", so he's not the biggest guy. But he's an all-purpose back. I mean, we rushed for 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns, 327 yards receiving, and 4 touchdowns. I think the most important thing, he's a good kick returner. So, I mean, if you can play special teams, that's the best way to get on the field playing in the NFL as a late-round rookie pick. So he's able to catch. He can run a little bit. Like I say, he's not big, so he's not going to carry a huge workload. But as a 3rd down back, you really don't need to carry a huge workload. I mean, plus you can play on special teams. Their running back situation is dreadful. Pacheco, who knows if he even makes a team. They've still got Kareem Hunt. So, I mean, obviously they need, some fresh legs in there, and this guy has them. He has less than 300 carries in his his college career, so he's a pretty fresh back. So yeah, I'm going with Brashard Smith for the Kansas City Chiefs.
I mean, opportunity with the Chiefs, you never know. We've tried some guys different years. Trev Smith could be, he could be the next Isaiah Pacheco, or he could be CEH they drafted too high. I didn't even know. Do you know who does CEH play for? Do you know? I
I have no
I
idea.
dug it out. I didn't realize he's a Saint. I was like, wow, he
No,
plays for the Saints again. They re-signed him.
good for him.
Um,
He sucked.
I, I'm going with a guy on our local team who I don't know why he is getting touted, but he's showing some pop at the Commanders camp right now. That's Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt. He is another old running back. That's like the theme of this class is old people. Dude has been in. He's 24, just turned 24, so born in 2020, 2001. But he's been in college since 2019. Started out at Alabama State for a handful of years, New Mexico, then Arizona for a whopping game last year. Um, and he but the opportunities there. He's going to be playing for a team that has Brian Robinson, who they like, but they don't seem to love because they keep seeing who can get in there. You got an old Austin Eckler, but the dude is shining at camp there. He's got good height. He's over that 200-pound weight we're looking at. He's running a 4.45, so he's got some speed within that. And and in that team, youth is going to be what runs with Jaden Daniels going into the growth of this stellar program. So popping him in there as a third back, teams need 3 or 4 running backs. He's third on the chart as a youngster there. He doesn't have a lot of college tracks. I was just his stats in college as a whole. He's only ran for like 2,000, maybe about 2,000 yards. I don't have the Jackson State popping up here, but he only ran for 1,300 yards the last 2 years. So he's doesn't have a lot of tread, so he'll be fresh coming in. I remember that young guy, Ramondre Stevenson, when he came in the league, did not have a lot of mileage or touches as well, and looks pretty good there and assisted in the right system. So put him in the system, running up with Jaden Daniels, and there's a lot of hype. It's hype, so it's May, but coming out of Washington right now for this youngster coming in.
I'll take your word for it. I'll be completely honest, I've never even heard of the guy, but yeah, I mean, it looks like he's got opportunity here in Washington. I mean, um, so I don't really know what to say. I've never even heard of him, but I'll take your word for it.
You got another running back for us?
I can do another running back. I'm gonna go LaQuinn Allen, draft. Another seventh round guy for Jacksonville. Jacksonville's, of course, their running game isn't great. It's kind of disappointing. Didn't do much at the combine. I mean, like I said, just opportunity. I mean, he's a bigger back. I mean, he's not going to sit here and bust out a lot of yards at high speed. So he's 6'2" or 4. Pretty much just a straight line runner. Now he's okay, at pass protection, so that helps. That'll help him out a little bit. I mean, if you know how to block, I mean, that's one of the best ways as a running back, to get on the field. But I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, he doesn't have a lot of bend when he runs. Not a great pass receiver, but I mean, the way Jacksonville's running back situation is working out right now, I mean, who knows?
Yeah, Jacksonville's a toss up. I'll be curious to see if they straight up cut ETN. Like it just looks like they're like, yeah, we don't want to. We want to get rid of all the trim the old fat that's not named Trevor Lawrence and move on. So that'll be an intriguing one. 5'9", 208 out of Oregon. We have your boy Jordan James. He's playing for the 49ers. So 49ers take coal and they make it into diamonds. They drafted him in the 5th round. Was a good. He's looking to be the change. Like he's a speed back, so he's going to be great to have on that 49ers offense. They got him for 4 years, but he's playing for the 49ers for no other reason. I'm not an expert on Jordan James, but he's a 49ers running back. And Garindo, I've heard that a lot of stuff, people that have been talking about him recently see him overtaking Garindo, who looks good last year, to be the backup in the 49ers backfield. If that happens and Christian McCaffrey goes down, doom. You got a starting running back, and I pushed too many things to see where he is looking at. The dude is like the 14th ranked running back. So overall, that puts him way. You're getting him currently. I pulled up too many like way down here. Like he's 37th ranked on Fantasy Pro. So to get any 49ers running back, I will always put him at the end of my bench as long as he is walking.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I mean, if you're on the 49ers, eventually you're going to get an opportunity, and usually that opportunity goes pretty successful. Don't know how long it typically lasts, because then eventually they end up getting hurt as well. So throw him on your team. The three running backs before him gets hurt. Why not throw him in there and see what happens?
I mean, he had 1,200 yards, 15 touchdowns last year for Oregon. So 5.5 carry, not too shabby. It was the only year he really was the star. The year before he had 750. So, but I mean, he's not overly fast, but he's got that over 200-pound weight to keep him going on. So I like the prospects of just being there to be the
Yeah.
guy. Okay, let's. How about some receivers? Who you got? You
Real,
got any
real quick, I want to go back to Quinn Allen. I kind of missed. Missed a stat. I mean, the kid did have 64 receptions for 521 yards. So it kind of led to FBS with as running backs.
in
So he
college?
can so he can catch the ball. So I mean, he's able to run. He had 1,000 yards rushing and 500 yards. Receiving too. So I mean, he is kind of an all-purpose back. So I mean, that kind of helps out his game a little bit.
Hey, I'm all about it.
Yeah, so my receiver, I talked about him a little earlier in the year. That's going to be Torrey Horton out of Colorado State. He went to Seattle. Seattle's gotten rid of their two main receivers. They got Jackson Smith and Jigba as the number one. This guy's a fifth-round pick. So there is opportunity here for him to step in and play some a little bit. He ran a 4.140. So I mean, he's got some good speed. Last year, he ended up only playing in 6 games. He had a knee injury, so that's a little bit to be worried about. But the 2023 season, he had over 1,000 yards, so he can provide that kind of high end wide receiver type play. But if you're looking at Seattle, I mean, with them losing Geno Smith, losing the Brain and Sam Darnold. So it's not like a big drop off in quarterback. There's going to be plenty of opportunity. There's going to be a lot of targets to be passed around. Hopefully, Jackson Smith and Jigba gets most of them, but it's got to go somewhere else.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's going to be opportunity there. They got rid of the big guys, so I like the rookie tight end there, Arroyo. He looks like he might be taking over No Fant. I've heard rumors he might even get cut next year. So that's
I was going to talk about him later.
Oh, okay. He's right. It depends on which charts we look at. Like he's like my favorite tight end right now. I'm in love with him. But we'll get him. But anyway, my favorite receiver actually right now because I don't have any good draft picks is Pat Bryant, out of Illinois. He got drafted by the Denver Broncos. So I basically, if you say that you are going to be with Sean Payton right now, and you're going to be with my favorite quarterback in the entire NFL, Bo Nix, right now, I'm all about it. About third, they drafted him in the 3rd round, so that means they have some hope for something he might do. And there's been talks of him even taking over. Cortland Sutton got touchdowns, but otherwise he pretty much sucked. Tyler Franklin was terrible. We both love some RJ Harvey, but RJ Harvey can't be the entire offense. And if Bo Nix is going to keep up his stellar 4,000-yard seasons, he's got to throw to somebody. Hopefully Pat Bryant can put on a little weight. I mean, 6'3", so he's 190. So we can get a little more on him, like get maybe a 200, be stronger as he gets lower in the box. That would be spectacular. But never had 1,000 yards in college. So there's a little concern there, but he did have 10 touchdowns last year on 54 catches, but he did go to Illinois. So Illinois is not this like stellar powerhouse school anyway, but Sean Payton sees something in him, and Sean Payton's got Sean Payton to me is right up there with, I think of Sean Payton the way you think of your boy out in San Francisco.
Kyle Shanahan.
Sean Payton is my Kyle Shanahan. Sean Payton can't do anything wrong except beat up players and pay them to do it. So I'm loving what Pat Bryant's doing. A lot of great stuff coming out of Denver. They're saying the right things, but it's a rookie receiver. Could be 3 years, could be 1, but somebody's got to do it. Cortland Sutton couldn't. So I guess there's something.
This is another guy I really don't know too much about. It's pretty much the first time I've heard his name. But yeah, I mean, like I said, there's plenty of opportunity. All the receivers kind of suck in Denver. So, I mean, if you need receivers with opportunity, I mean, Denver's a good place to start.
Green Bay is not the location that gets you excited about receivers because they got like 7,412 receivers. They started out with Golden, who I'm not a fan of, but there's something about their 3rd round pick, Savion Williams, that excites me for them. I love his size, 6'4", 223, and his name isn't Golden. I don't know, but it seems like they're looking to totally reboot this thing as far as the receivers. Christian Watson probably won't even touch the field until late November if he even plays. I think they'll just pup him for the year. The other guys have been disappointments. They're starting from scratch. We both like Jordan Love, so Savion, they went and took him in the third round after with the 87th pick of the draft after drafting Golden in the first round. So with that kind of size, he could be an end zone threat from the get go. Big young receivers have a better chance of an early hit rate anyway, and it could lead to hopefully some success as he goes down the road with Jordan Love as they continue to grow together.
Yeah, I mean that's my kind of wide receiver. The big tall guy. Kind of reminds you of someone like a George Pickens, maybe with a little better attitude that not everybody hates. Going to Green Bay, it's kind of sketchy though. Um, really haven't had a high end wide receiver in quite a while that you can trust. Like I'm not really a huge fan of Golden either, but the third round draft capital, I mean that's not nothing really to sneeze at. So I mean, I would assume he's going to get opportunity because it's not like he's out there having to beat out high end guys. I mean, if he's any bit good at all, I mean, I'm sure he might be able to slot in from the beginning. Maybe he's like the third or fourth wide receiver. So yeah, I agree with that one.
Nice. You got another guy? I got one more. I'd love to just say his name.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jaden Royals, like out of Kansas from the Kansas City Chiefs. He went to Utah State, 6 foot, 205 pounds. He ran a 4.42. So he's pretty fast guy. Their receiver room, I mean, it's not great. They got the guy coming off of what's the guy's name coming off the? I'm so bad with names today.
Totally blocked brain
But
fart.
y'all know who we're talking about. And then they drafted the rookie last year, totally blanking his name as well. He
Rasheed
made
Rice and then Xavier Worthy. It all
yeah,
came.
so Worthy made some splash plays. So, I mean, he was okay, but they still need wide receiver help. I mean, you slide this guy in as the slot. I mean, 2023 was his best year. He had over 1,000 yards, 15 receiving touchdowns. So he has an eye for the touchdowns. He didn't break 1,000 yards last year, but I mean, he is a fourth round pick going to the Chiefs. They like to throw the ball. They got Pat Mahomes. Their receivers aren't great, so there's opportunity. Travis Kelsey's getting older, so there's even more opportunity. So Jalen Royals of the Kansas City Chiefs, I mean, fourth round pick, I mean, it's worth a shot on your taxi squad.
We throw enough Chiefs against the wall. Someone is going to flash.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I hope it's Rasheed Rice comes back and does it. I mean, well, it's been crickets about him getting suspended. He gets suspended. This could totally change what we're looking at here. I got a guy. Since we live in Virginia, we got to do a Virginia Tech player, Jalen Lane, with his 4.34 speed, coming into DC to play with Jaden Daniels. I drafted actually I picked up both these guys, him and the running back I talked about earlier for the team, just off free agency after my draft. But he's coming into DC. They did bring in Debo this year, but what does Debo have left in the tank? Will he get hurt? You got Scary Terry on the far end. He's got to beat out Michael Gallup, Noah Brown, and Luke McCaffrey to be the number 3 receiver on that team, on an ascending team. And with the speed, he could get a lot of PT being the speed guy on the edge, like the deep threat guy with that speed going down the field. And this could be the year that all he really does is run straight and catches long bombs. And then as he learns the route tree in the NFL, that could be his path to being a effective NFL receiver. I mean, he's a 24th ranked wide receiver rookie, meaning you can probably not even draft this dude and pick him up afterwards. Probably not where we live, because I'm sure there'll be some Hokie fans in our drafts that'll be like, oh, I know him from college. But around the country, he's probably a guy you can get off waivers. But a guy, maybe if you've got deep teams, I would stash him. I would stash pretty much any pieces I can get of the Commanders team right now, because I think they are ascending, and for the first time since we were children, it's players on that team not named Clinton Portis you want to have on your team. So I'm excited.
Yeah, yeah, it's possible. Like I said, this is another guy I really haven't heard much about, but yeah, I mean, any Commanders fans will probably fall in love with him. So if you're in any leagues with Commanders fans, this guy might be scooped up. It was the last pick in the draft, but the free agent wire, I'm probably most likely be able to pick him up.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to hear you talk about my favorite tight end. He's going to break our rules because the tight ends are pretty terrible. I said outside the top. Let's go outside the top two tight ends and move
Yeah,
Mason Taylor at three. So this is the number four tight end, and he's soaring up. He's soaring up draft boards. Actually, people are starting to hear about him.
yeah. I mean, I don't like tight ends. Um,
I love tight ends.
after after this guy, I mean, I wasn't really interested in all of them. You're lucky I even put this guy down. But yeah, I love this guy. I mean, he was the most athletic tight end at the combine. He was 6'5", 250. You know, run like the wind. Well, did he have a 40? No, I didn't run the 40.
I didn't run. But
Yeah,
he's
so
cleared injuries. His injuries are clear now.
yeah, so I mean, he was a second round pick, pick 18 in the second round, going to Seattle. Like I said, there's a lot of targets available in Seattle. So I mean, there'd be plenty of opportunity for him to slot in there. I mean, like I say, he's a great blocker, but I mean, in today's NFL, I mean, you can find another tight end for that to stick in the line, and you can just put him on the outside and just let him run down the field. And like I said, playing in Seattle, I think this is going to be a great opportunity for him. I think he has more of the opportunity to be, you know, like awesome from the get go than maybe possibly even the first two tight ends taken.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. I don't expect him to be like a year three tight end for a breakout. Kind of expecting it to be kind of immediate. So he's probably, you're not going to be able to get him very late, I can't imagine, especially in a tight end premium. You probably have to draft him in the second round if you really want him. But it's a little earlier than what than we wanted to talk about today. But I don't like tight ends.
Yeah, I love Elijah Arroyo though. Like just seeing like a lot of the intangibles, like they took him injured, drafted him injured in the second round, coming off the injury but he's ran all the scans, come out healthy, and he could be the you're right. I agree with he could be the top tight end this year. I mean, there's been talk of Mason Taylor, but he's a Jet, so what can you do there? I'm going to throw out one other name, which is Gunnar Helm. Probably could amount to nothing, but he's starting a rookie year with Cam Ward. He'll be the other tight end. Chig, I love, hasn't really shown out like he should have. He came in. They took him. I just had his number. I got too many things. They took him in the fourth round. He had 7 touchdowns last year on 60 passes in college. So that's, I mean, still for a tight end. Tight ends don't really do a whole heck. You're either a super stud, which is very few, but to still get that many touchdowns as a in college for I believe Texas. Uh, but he looks like you never know who's going to be the guy that Cam Ward likes. He could be his Travis Kelsey, or he could be as good as the kid out of Florida who we will not name, who everybody drafted way too high and kind of sucks.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I'm not really too excited about this guy. The only thing that positive that I kind of agree is Okonkwo really hasn't lived up to anything that. Well, I know you was a big fan, but you like you said, you're a tight end guy, but he just hasn't really been all that great. So I mean, at least there's opportunity there. But I was thinking about him, but then I was like, nah, I'm not that big of a fan of tight ends, and I just went with this guy.
I wanted Arroyo, but he was number four, and I said five. But anyway, as we close out, just we're recording this on May the 11th, 2025. So I just want to say Happy Mother's Day to my mom. Thank you for birthing me. Happy Mother's Day to my wife. Thank you for taking care of our kids, loving our kids. You're amazing. Give us some wisdom, and then go have dinner with your mom.
Yeah, that was going to be my words of wisdom. Make sure you say Happy Mother's Day to your mom. It's probably a pretty good idea today. So yeah, just make sure. I'm not really. So I got a question. What are your thoughts on giving your mom flowers on Mother's Day? Everybody does it. I'm just not a huge fan of going out and buying some flowers, you know, for Mother's Day. I feel like there's other things you can do to kind of like show your love. I feel like the flower thing is kind of played out. What do you think?
I've been blessed. Both of the women in my life are not people that want like giant bouquets of flowers. My mom, what we would get her for Mother's Day this year, we're taking her out. They just got back from a cruise, so we told her, said, hey, her birthday, anniversary, everything's this month. So we said we're taking her out to a really nice dinner. She's like, that sounds spectacular. My wife's not. So my mom, we used to get her like garden flowers, so stuff she could plant. We would get her plants to plant. That's what she would want for Mother's Day. So we take her do that. And my wife, my kids took care of her. They treated her, got her things for Mother's Day, and I made her breakfast this morning. So yeah, so it is played out. It's kind of like Valentine's Day. It really depends upon the mom in your life. Like I've been lucky in that aspect. I've heard of other guys who are like, yeah, man, if I don't do it, I'm dead meat. But my
Yeah.
wife just loves being a mom. Glad we're all here. Glad we all went to church together and we got a beautiful picture.
Yeah, because nothing says "I love you, mom" like
And
some
fire.
flowers that's probably going to die in about 3 days. So yeah, I love you, mom. So as always, trust yourself and trust the process.